What is good? This is ahead of the spread. Ahead of the spread. Wager Talk live late show here. We talk about the open numbers for the next day's games in the NBA, notable line movement, discuss key matchups and angles for the next day's games. So you have an early edge for tomorrow. We got myself, Ronald Cabang, and Skee Profit here to get you through the slate. 9 games tomorrow, Skee. Um, so back to back 9 days, 9 game slates, dude. I hate these big slates, dude. Because I'm not a high volume better. But hopefully we get through this pretty quickly here. Just give you all the right info that'll help you tomorrow. Today, Ski, I know you had a good day. Tell the people what happened for you. Your recap.
Yeah, college. I went 1-0. Houston first half. So I think I've now won 10 of my last 13, maybe either 9 of my last 12, 10 of my last 13 in college, and then NBA. Went in the right direction. We talked about the Suns yesterday on the show,
Yeah,
and they cashed pretty easily, won by 24. So nice
nice.
2-0 day.
Yeah, so I went 1-3 today, 1-1 in college basketball. Since December, actually, though, hitting over 68% in college basketball, just because it's a lot lower volume. NBA, I went 0-2. I had the Thunder team total over 223 and a half, 123 and a half. They only scored 123. Then I had the Kings -7, and they won by 6. So 2 games ended up losing by a point and a half combined. Hate those days, but it happens. All right, let's get into the slate. Shoot, I already started sharing the screen. I didn't even know that. All right, so we have odds logic here. Odds logic. You can see there's a description, a link in the description if you guys want to try this out. But it's a live odds. It's a live odds page. You have more options here than our free wager talk odds page. So you have like Pinnacle, some of the sharp books that is not available on the site. You can also customize. You get a lot of alerts. Sorry, alerts that pop up whenever injuries come up or anything like that. Scores. You could set all that stuff up. And so if you guys are interested in that, just check the link in the description. Um, with that said, let's get into the first game. There's a game in Paris tomorrow, so it's an early game. It opened. It starts at 11:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So San Antonio and Indiana. We have the Pacers open up at -3, down to 2.5. Circa actually has a 2. Caesars a 2. South Point a 2. Total open up at 229.5. This has come up to 230 and as high as 230.5 at BetMGM. From an injury perspective, we go to San Antonio and just Sohan questionable to play, and then if we go to the Pacers side, just Wiseman and Jackson out still. All right, so we go situational notes over at themoneybar.com. Let me zoom this in a little bit. We have the Spurs. Obviously, both of these teams well rested because they had to travel to Paris. Um, I mean, what was it? 4 days for Spurs, 5 days for the Pacers. Any thoughts on this one in neutral site? Neutral site, Ski.
Yeah. Well, thinking the first thing that pops in my mind is Wemby. Playing back over there, he's probably gonna have a really big game. Um, Outside of that, I've been looking at these Spurs games lately. I mean, at least the last three, they've
Mm-hmm.
been 230 plus or 235 plus. So I do think they can get to this total. I know Indiana hasn't been playing as high scoring, but I'm looking at some of the opponents they face, like Philly. It's just Philly. The way Golden State's been playing lately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not too impressed with the recent defense. So I don't think it'll continue in the next game. I think they'll play up tempo. I think they'll try to put on a show for all the people over there. And I'm thinking the slight move on the total towards the over is the right move. And if I had to pick a side, I would be picking the Spurs. I think Wemby goes away with the victory.
So this is I mean, I agree with your thought on the over just because he wants to show out in his hometown, right? So I just randomly looked at since 2022 neutral site games. Let me just how do I let's do team better than no team so that we get one single game. So It looks like 7-1 to the under these neutral site games in the last couple years. It kind of makes sense, but like I like your thought process on, especially with him being at home. It's a little different than some of these other sites, because I think some of these games are in like Mexico, right? For the most part, and some other places too. So the trend says under, but the thought process behind Wemby makes sense to go over, especially with the Pacers too. And if you look at last 10 games defensively, Spurs 23rd in defensive rating, both teams in the top half of the league as far as pace goes. So if I was to play it, I would also lean towards the over. All right. So we have game two here. The Blazers and the Magic. The Magic open up at -9 at home, down to -8.5 across the board. Total 209 steamed up to 212 across the board. But MGM still has a 211.5. Injuries, we'll go to Portland first. Portland, we got Simons questionable, Aiton questionable, Kamara questionable, and then Klingon and Matisse Thybulle still out. If we go to the Magic side, probably still a laundry list over there. Yeah. Oh shoot. So Wagner is actually upgraded to questionable. Goga is unlikely to play. You got questionables on Isaac Harris, Cole Anthony, Suggs is still out, and Mo Wagner is out. So potential addition back to the lineup with Franz. From a situational note, nothing on the Magic side, but fatigue on the Blazers side. Fourth game in 6 nights, first game of back to back as well. They do have Charlotte, and they travel Orlando to Charlotte. In a letdown spot, they did beat Miami a couple nights ago. What are your thoughts on this one, Skee? Is potential for Franz Wagner coming back going to affect this game?
Yeah, the Magic offense needs it. They've been struggling.
Dude. Mm-hmm.
But it's his first game in so long. Like I'm not expecting him to go out there and play a ton of minutes, and I don't think he'll necessarily play that well. I know we saw Bankero come back and like he didn't miss a beat, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just usually my thought process with guys like that coming back for their first game. So looking at how the Magic have been playing lately, we haven't been able to trust the offense. We can always trust the defense. I
Mm-hmm.
think the total is going the wrong direction. I think this is more of an under game.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Let's look at the total. So Magic 7-3 to the under last 10, 2-0 to the under as home favorites. So recent form still pointing towards the under. And like you said, even if Franz Wagner comes back, the flow of that offense is still gonna struggle. Should take a couple games. Um, I would lean towards the under as well. I know last 10 games, they're both defenses have been struggling. Blazers 22nd, Magic 17th, but pace of play here 29th, and that's not going to change with Franz Wagner because they were a slow paced team with him too. So, um, yeah, that would be the lean for me to the under there. All right, game three on the slate we have Miami and Milwaukee. The Bucks open up at -7. Mostly sevens across the board. There is a 6.5 over at BetMGM. The total opened up at 224. This one's across the board is a little bit all over the place. 224.5 at BetMGM, down to 223.5 at the sharper books here, Circa and Pinnacle. Injuries, we'll go to Miami first. Butler ruled out. Harrell is available. Richardson, Drew Smith still out. Smith is out for the season. And we go to Milwaukee, just AJ Green that is questionable. Situational notes here. Second game of back to back for the Bucks. They did. That's not right. This is not second game of back to
No,
back.
it got postponed.
Yeah, that's right. So they just put that off the schedule. Got you. That's supposed to be against New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that one is off because of the postponed game. Heat, they are in a bounce back spot. They did lose to Portland the other day, in season revenge and the rest advantage. Actually, not the rest advantage because of that postponed game. So this one here, Bucks with what 4 days of rest. Is that going to help them here? I know their offense has been clicking. So is that a rest or rust kind of factor that we were looking at here on this Bucks team?
Um, I don't know. I don't like them to have so many days off because they were playing really good basketball.
Hmm.
They won what 4 games in a row, all by double digits. So I would hate to mess with the rhythm of that. But I really just don't trust. I don't trust Miami, and I don't trust specifically their defense. Just
Hmm.
the way that the Milwaukee's been scoring lately, I think they can kind of name their number in this game. I think Milwaukee team total is worth a look, and maybe even Milwaukee spread. So that's how I'm viewing this game.
Yeah, this one's tough. I agree with you. I don't like that long layoff, especially when they had their rhythm going. Those things can just mess things up. Those schedule spots, those weird schedule spots, and travel and all that stuff. Luckily, they didn't have to travel. Um, but yeah, those missing games and all that kind of messes up the flow of their offense. I would probably lean towards Milwaukee just because of the whole situation in Miami right now. Like obviously off court issues and that affects on court play. So I would still lean Milwaukee, but this is definitely one that I would probably stay away from. I think your look on that team total over makes a lot of sense too. All right, let's go to Raptors and Hawks. All right, so Raptors and Hawks. We have the Hawks open up at -6.5, -5. Majority of the books except for BetMGM -5.5 there. The total 235.5 down to 234 at the sharper books. Still can get 234.5. At some places, FanDuel at 233.5. So that's coming down. Injuries. We'll go to Toronto first. We got Quickly is ruled out and Agbaji is questionable. And then we have Atlanta. The rookie there is out still indefinitely. Larry still out indefinitely as well. Situational notes here. Second game of back-to-back for Atlanta. They did play Detroit today and lost that game. Fourth game in 6 nights. Third game in 4 nights. And then the Raptors here, double-digit in-season revenge for them, and obviously the rest advantage. A lot of games here in the last 5 days, Skee, for the Hawks there. 4 games, and I think it's actually 4 games in 5 nights. I think, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts here? Is fatigue going to affect Atlanta?
Yeah, I would be worried about it for sure. The Raptors also have just been playing a little bit. I mean, they've been playing solid basketball. They've won, I think, 3 of their last 4 games.
Hmm.
So just looking at that and the schedule spot for the Hawks, it's hard for me to lay points with them. They have had a couple games sprinkled where they play some defense, but overall, they're not a team that I really trust defensively long term. So I'll lean with the Raptors for this game, but probably not when I'm putting my money on.
Yeah, man, that pace of play there on the Hawk side, last 10 games, first in pace, no defense. From a total perspective, it seems like an overtype game. Um, to me, also fatigue could affect obviously the defense. They do play again in a couple days, so this could be one where the Toronto takes that first game and then Atlanta gets it back just because they get a day of rest or whatever you want to say. But from a total perspective, it seemed like the over would be the way to go. All right, so we have Mavs and Thunder here. We have the Thunder opening up at -11, up to -13 for the majority of the books. BetMGM at -12.5. Dallas, or the total 218.5 at open. Coming up to 219 at most books, even a 219.5 here at FanDuel. BetMGM again, the odd one out, still has a 218.5 available. Injuries, we'll go to Dallas first. Man, they have a lot going on over here. Luca's still
Yeah,
out,
I feel
obviously.
like it's too much going on in this game. Like they both played last night. It's gonna
There's a lot of
be
injuries and stuff too, right?
yeah.
Especially on
I don't.
Dallas
This is
side.
not a game that I can bet ahead of time. Like I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to wait until the last injury report to think about betting
the
this game.
Thunder. Yeah, let's see the Thunder too. So, yeah, they have Isaiah Joe questionable. A couple. I mean, obviously the big still out. So a lot of injuries here. It's kind of hard to cap a game when all that stuff is going on. Second of back to back for both teams, right? Is that right? Second of back to back for both teams. Third game in 4 nights for Mavs. I guess this is one that we could probably go ahead and skip, right, Ski? Not much to
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about this
good.
one.
I
So
want nothing to do with this game.
all right, even B Daddy agrees. There you go. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Sacramento and Denver. Sac played today. Damn man, that still pisses me off. All right, so Kings, Denver -7.5 across the board. The total opened up at 240 down to 239 at the sharper books here. 239.5 still available at the other ones. From an injury perspective, we'll go Sacramento. Yeah, obviously they just finished their game, so probably not gonna have anything. If we go to Denver, nothing important there. All right, so situational notes for this game. Sorry, where is it? All right, Kings and Nuggets. Second game of the back-to-back for the Kings. Obviously, they got the win. In-season revenge for them. Rest advantage on the Nuggets side. But so Sac has the New York Knicks on deck, so they got to travel Denver to New York, and then Nuggets they have Minnesota on deck. What are your thoughts on this one, Ski? Back-to-back versus rested team here.
My first thought is to look towards the over. The market I know
Mm,
did drop it about what a half a point or a point so far, but I think that's just because it's a back to back. I'll be curious what Sacramento is to the over on the back to back, but even still, like I feel like they've been playing with more pace with Doug Christie as a coach. And I'm looking, I mean, last what 4 or 5 games, they've all had 240 plus points. So 239 and a half, 239 doesn't seem like too much of an ask, especially
mhm.
Denver. They've cleared that number 2 of their last 3. They haven't been playing at the pace that they have been for a good part of the season lately, but still the number one offensive rated team in that span. And I don't see much resistance from the Kings side on defense. So I think this one is an over game.
Yeah, so I just pulled that up where you were asking the Kings on zero rest. I don't know. This is so small. All right, so Kings on no rest. That means second leg of back-to-back games here. They're 5-3 to the over. This one did go over because they went into double OT. Um, but for the most part, you can see they're giving up a ton of points. Their opponents in the second leg of back-to-back games, 7-1 to their team total over. So
Mm.
they're like you said, they're giving up a ton of points. Kings offense is playing really well right now. Last 10 games, number one offensive rated team. 120 over a 120 and a half points per game there. Over definitely seems like the way to go on this one. Probably wouldn't touch the side here, but the over makes a lot of sense. All right, so we got Boston. Sorry, Boston and LA here. So Boston, is that game over? Did that finish? Uh,
6 seconds left.
yeah. So Boston looks like they're gonna get the win tonight. So not sure if this line's gonna move, but we have open at -5.5 for Boston on the road here. Still can get 5.5s at the places that have it open. Bet online's at -6, FanDuel at -5. The total 221.5. And the totals all over the board here: 220.5, 221.5. 221 and 222. Just shop wherever you have the best odds. Probably not gonna have any injury report stuff here, but I could check. So if we go to the Lakers side, just Wood and Vanderbilt still out, obviously, and then we go to the Boston side. Typically, someone's gonna sit, either Horford or KP. Probably will sit tomorrow
Well, they
if they
both
play.
didn't play today, right?
They both
So
didn't.
yeah, they both didn't play today, and then Drew is
Gotcha.
out today
Okay.
too.
So then that means they should be one of them, or at least one of them should be available tomorrow. But all these guys are questionable on the injury report. All right, so if we go to the situational stuff, we got rest advantage on the Lakers side, fatigue spot here on the Celtics side. Second game of back to back, third and four, fourth and six, fifth and seven, just all the above. Um, with they don't travel though, right? LA to LA, and this is the one that we were talking about yesterday, the party guy trend. This is the one that Skee brought up in his show, like what, like a couple years ago, and we kind of been riding that one a little bit. I'll bring that up real quick.
Yeah,
So
it's been
basically,
pretty
for,
good. Yeah.
yeah, so basically, it's like if a team is in LA for two straight games, 2 straight games, they tend to go over 83, 55, and 2 to the over since 2016. One thing that you could add to it, if the team is unrested, like the Celtics are, it goes to 41, 12, and 2 to the over. So definitely an over spot here. And that's one thing that we've kind of been rocking with for the last couple of years or last few years. Um, and that was the one that I mentioned yesterday that we would bring up today. So hopefully you guys are here from yesterday's show. All right. So from that note, Skee, obviously we both kind of like this trend here that we've been following. The over might be the way to go. Do you agree with it on this one still, or are you looking at the side?
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. And I was thinking about the overtime maybe messing it up, but
Yeah,
even when they're off an overtime game, it's still 3-0 to the over. And
nice.
Boston did rest a couple guys, so I think they'll still have, fresh fresh legs. They'll be making jumpers tomorrow. Um, and I just don't believe, that the whole thought process of this trend is teams stay overnight in LA and they have a good time and they're not as focused playing defense the next day. Now
Yeah.
that Boston got that win today, I think we can still have that mindset. So I think the over is solid in this game.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. I think that, I mean, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Probably stay away from the side just because I feel like the all right. So obviously the bigs didn't show. So if the bigs didn't play today, you think the line's gonna move if once they get ruled in?
Yes.
So if you like the Lakers, you would get in now. Sorry, the if you like the Celtics, you would get in now. If you like LA, you would probably want to wait. That seems like the way to go, right?
Yeah, because I have a hard time thinking Tatum or Jalen Brown missed versus the
For back to
Lakers.
back. Yeah.
So yeah, I would think so.
All right. All right. So we got two games left here. We got Chicago and Golden State. Golden State minus 3.5. Oh, I opened down to minus 2.5, even minus two, even a minus two over at FanDuel now. 231.5 at the total. Open at for the total 231. Available here at the Sharp Books. 230 down to 230 and a halves at BetMGM, DraftKings, and Bet Online. Injury perspective, we'll go to Chicago first. Bulls. All right, so questionables, we got AO and Kobe White, and Craig is still out. If we look at the Warriors side, not sure they'll have anything, but we'll see. Warriors. I mean, nothing new. All right, so we got Draymond still out, Pods and Kuminga still out. Looney is questionable here. All right, so if we go situational notes, fatigue spot for both teams. Second back to back for the Warriors. They did play SAC today. They did lose third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 as well. Bulls do have the rest advantage just because they're not on the back to back, but it is third game in 4 nights, and they're on a letdown spot. They did beat the the Clippers in LA as 6.5 point dogs here. Fatigue spot on both sides. Skee. What are your thoughts here?
It's more of a fatigue spot for the Warriors, right? They just
Mhm.
played tonight. Don't the Bulls have like 2 days off?
They had 2 days off. Third game in 4 nights. What 19, 20? Yeah, no, that's five, right? Third game in 5 nights, I think. So they've been traveling. So Portland, LA, and then Golden State is still in town. In California. So yeah, a couple. I mean, I would still think that their travel and they're coming off a back to back here. So Golden State definitely the more fatigued team.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm trying to get this bet in, man. I'm putting it in right now because the numbers are moving. If you like that bet that we are talking about, you should bet it right now. Um, but yeah,
Or which one?
I think the Laker one.
Oh, it
Yeah,
did
you
go
should
up.
you should you should bet it right now. Like I'm stopping and doing, you know what I'm saying? My bad. I like money, you guys. I hope you guys like money too. Let me try to lock in this money real quick. All right. um, yeah, I think that the Bulls I mean, they're coming off of a win as an underdog, right? So they've been playing a little bit better than the Warriors. I just don't. The Warriors coming off a win too. I mean, no, 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 my bad. They
No, they
lost to
got
the
one
Kings.
loss.
They
Yeah.
were winning, and
Bro, they were winning by
then
like what, 17 and a half? I was pissed.
yeah,
I was
they
still
were
pissed at the
winning.
end, but still.
Um, I just the Warriors got to show me, bro. Since Kamingas went down, like they just haven't been playing well together. So until
Mhm.
they show me or they turn it around, I have to look the other way. I mean, Bulls off a win as an underdog. Why can't they do it again? I think the Bulls are the right
Mhm.
side.
This our Warriors are favored right here on the yeah, the Warriors are favored. I was looking at their team total last 10 games. 7-2 to the under. The first half's under on the back-to-back unders. Rest when a rest disadvantage all the unders, just unders across the board. I know it's hard to take the Bulls to trust the Bulls defense too, but a lot of trends are kind of pointing in that direction. One thing I want to look at, so I'll put up the Warriors and rest equals 0. So on the second leg of back-to-back games, 5-1 to the under. They went under their team total in all 6 games here, with Kaminga, without Kaminga. Um, I think that's the kind of the way I want to go in this game here. I would strongly lean towards the Warriors team total under. And KC Wiggins was gas tonight. Someone sitting makes a lot of sense to me. Um, it's just hard to trust that Bulls defense, but I mean numbers don't lie. Um, so I would strongly lean Warriors team total under in that one. All right, last game on the board. The Wizards and the Clippers here. Clippers open up at minus 12 and a half up to minus 13 and a half, 14 and a half at Pinnacle. Damn, this is moving quick. Bet Online still has a 12. All right. And then the total 224 and a half. That's come down to 224 at most books. Still can get a 224 and a half at BetMGM. FanDuel down to 223 and a half already. If we go to the injuries, uh, we'll go Wizards first. Brogdon already ruled out. And then we got, wait, Thursday, Utah. Hold on. Brogdon already ruled out. Bagley out. Bay is out. Why did I say Utah? That's weird. All right, so we go to Clippers. Zubac, Powell questionable. Kawhi available to play. Harden questionable. Dunn questionable. A lot of questionables here. Batum questionable too. Situational note. Nothing on the Clippers side. We got
Ski
fourth
questionable.
Skee questionable.
I'm not doing
Fourth
it.
game in 6 nights. Double digit in season revenge. I don't think that really matters on the Wizard side, to be honest. They just continue losing probably. What they lost by 30 some or yeah, 20 something here, 20. I don't know, man. I don't know how you could back the Wizards at any point. This is just a big number for the Clippers side. What are your thoughts here?
My thoughts. Bet one of these other 9 games on the slate. Um, I don't like telling people just anything, and I don't have any way to tell you just put your money on this game. So
Yeah.
um, I'll just say this: that other game that I did bet, the line did. I mean, they were moving all over the place. I saw it as high as 223 and a half, but it's come back down now. So just so you guys know, 220 and a half is the number I got on that game.
220 and a half. All right, so
And
Clippers.
there's still, well, there was, Dia pointed it out in the chat. There was a 219 and a half at FanDuel, but that's FanDuel still has the lowest number at 220 and a half now.
Oh man. I wonder what. I don't know. I still like the over as well. So it doesn't even matter which way it's moving. I'm probably gonna take it. Just what's available. So I just looked real quick. Clippers double digit favorites. They did smash the Nets by almost 60. Obviously just one game here. I would probably lean the Clippers. So just in that direction. But definitely won't touch this game probably. All right, that's 9 games that we just talked about, or 8 at least. Let's drop this screen here. Anything to share with the viewers here, Ski? Any leans for tonight? Obviously, we talked about one of the bets that we're going to be betting. But anything else to leave the viewers?
Yeah, it's a lot of the usual suspects in the chat. We appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Joe the Gambler, B Man, B Daddy, Malcolm Robinson, Mark A, Casey in the building, Coach Jim. We appreciate y'all staying up late night and capping these games with us and just supporting the show. Yeah, I mean, bet wise, I stopped the show to make a bet on here. So Celtics and Lakers over 220 and a
220.
half is what's in my pocket right now. I'm still, I'm still thinking the over, Wimby overs in that San Antonio game. That's really just, I'm trying to find reasons to just push the button even more. But that's what I like. That Milwaukee team total seemed like a solid play. That Denver over seemed like a solid play. Orlando under. I probably need some more reasons to get to the window with that, but those are what I'm trying to work out and see what I can push confirm on.
All right, so I'm in at 221. Ski, you have a half point better than me on that over. There are a couple other things that I like here. I do think Toronto might be the right side there. Um, Toronto on that side, man. I feel like there was something else that I was talking about. Oh yeah, the Spurs and Pacers would lean over on that one. I think we did talk about Warriors team total under, and then I think those would probably be my strongest leans there. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so those would be my strongest leans. All right, well, with that said, guys, just a quick reminder: we do have that promo code available over at wagertalk.com right there. You can see it scrolling on the bottom. Sport 50, that saves you $50 off any 30-day NBA or college basketball package from either Skee or myself, and you can go straight to our links right there: wt.buzz/HP or RC. Um, for us there, I think there's other deals going on the site as well, but this is the one that they gave us to promote on the show. So just check out the site, wagertalk.com. We also give free plays. There's a free play section, so make sure you guys check that out. And not just from myself and Skee, but from other handicappers over at WagerTalk. Also, like Skee said, man, shout out to everyone here in the chat for dropping in and dropping your comments and your plays. And make sure you guys after the show too go into the comment section and drop some comments over there too as well. I think there was a couple more things. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. These are things that it's like bullet points for us to do for the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe as well. What else is there? I think that's it, Skee, right? Anything else?
Nah, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good.
All right. Whether you guys fade or follow, it is on you to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Until next time. Peace.